Show, episode number 388.
Welcome to the Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. To the Wellness Show, health, wealth, and enlightenment. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan, and my co-host, the lovely Laura Cool. And we're live with you for the next hour to answer all your questions on dowsing and energy healing, what's up in your life, and what's up on planet Earth. We're in the midst of extraordinary times, so it's time for extraordinary change and transformation at the personal level as well as at the planetary. So today's topic is numerology. Answers are in the numbers. What's your number under the 24? No, that's not bingo. Wait a minute here. Slow down. All right, so if you want to know about numerology, then stay tuned. If you want to phone in and interrupt us anytime and receive a personal clearing or talk about Laura to have her do a healing or what is it that you do anyway, Laura?
I'm a fourth generation intuitive healer, psychic, everything. I don't know.
Yeah, so when people phoned in, we can help them do a clearing or help them with their health or even with their wellness. But you have you actually do mini readings. Is that the way to describe it?
For on the show, yes.
Yeah.
But I also do in-person and phone readings too, psychic readings.
Yeah, so I just want to asking if people phone in, can they get a mini reading?
Absolutely. I do it on you every day.
That's right. And I look at me, I'm so much better. Yeah. So
I got in your life.
That's right. So you too can phone in and be as crazy as me. 1-866-369-7464. Yeah. So if you need, like to have a little psychic reading, what's up with you? Because we're doing numerology, which is connected to sacred geometry, which of course is connected to everything else. I mean, it doesn't matter which topic we want to talk about, it's all part of the oneness, right? So the one thing about numerology I can say from the get-go is I'm not a numerologist, okay? I'm not a professional numerologist. So what I'm saying is just an overview, getting you excited about looking further at what are the numbers that are showing up in your life.
I use numerology for my clients. I get a lot of women that are divorcing and they want to know if they should keep their married name or keep their or go back to their maiden name. And I have a woman here in the area that does numerology and she's super good at it. Like, boom, she gets it. For me, I just like to tap into it just to see, like, have my house vibrate at a certain thing, or I know my life path number is a 7. What's yours, Ty?
I don't know. Anyway, so why aren't we having this woman on the show anyway? What am I talking about this? But anyway, the woman is not on the show, so let's talk about numerology. So here's a confession to the very get-go. My real name is not Tyson Bannigan. My name was changed through numerology, through the Kabbalistic numerological system. Do I have any regrets about that? Well, it's too bad, because if I wanted to go back, I'd have to go back and legally change it all, which is a pain. And I've created a whole new lineage. My son has the same spelling of my last name. And my other son has his mother's name. So there you are. So I've created a new generational lineage. But what I've learned since the 70s when I did this is I didn't want to carry on that generational, let's call it crap. There's the technical term, generational crap. So I wanted to divorce myself from my lineage. But guess what? You really can't do that. What's better is to go back and do the healings necessary to clean up your lineage. But at that time, I was an angry kid, right? Who just didn't want any more of this. So I changed my name. So numerologically, it has a different vibrational frequency. But the thing to remember is when you do that, it doesn't change your original birth name vibrational frequency. It's still there. It's just another layer on the cake, right? It's another layer of frosting, or maybe you have chocolate and then you have a layer of vanilla. But the point is, the original birthplace, your original numerology, and then you're reflected in your name that you've been given, goes with you from birth to death. You can add to it by, going and getting married and putting a vibration on top of it. You can change your name and put another vibration on top of it. But it's the two one will shine through the other, so to speak, right? Does that make sense to you, Laura? You can't change your birth path, right?
You can, right, but you can
alter it, but you
how
can't
you're,
change it.
but how you like. I do believe that, like, especially for women, changing their name can be, they can lose sight of who they really are.
Absolutely, but how much is that I mean, a lot of it's numerology, don't get me wrong. A lot of that is really taking back the personal power, and that's what we're all about. That's what we're helping people do, is take back the personal power and stand in their truth. And if changing your name is part of that process, then that's all well and good, and we'll encourage you to do it properly through numerology. But even better, let's go clean up the trauma, right? Behind the wanting to change your name. Let's do the underlying, stuff that really needs to be dealt with. So my original name is Jeffrey Hugh Bannigan, not Jeffrey Huge Bannigan, but Jeffrey Hugh. Everybody used to call me Huge because I was a big guy. But so Jeffrey Hugh Bannigan. And my name now is Tyson Bannigan, and it's spelt differently, and it has these funny H's. I sort of like call them like their antennas, right? Like two bugs have antennas, that are extrasensory perception. I have two H's which are silent in my name, which allow me to, in my world, be more attuned to higher vibrations. But that's just how I see it. There's nothing in numerology that says an H does that, right? And there's always been a question in my mind, well, what does a silent H mean anyway? You don't pronounce it, but it does make a vibrational change by having an H in there. If compared to having it with it or without an H, it makes a significant difference. Why I'm not so, I really don't understand that ins and outs. But anyway, let's.
Do you know, like, do you feel like you still know yourself as good as you did before, having changed your name to Tyson?
Yeah, my name Tyson is because I got to choose it as, if I'd say Tyson, it has a vibrational frequency much different than Jeffrey.
Right, but my point is, like, do you know who you are though? Do you know yourself better as Tyson or better as Jeffrey?
I suit the name Tyson. Tyson has a strength and an honor and an integrity, and that's forceful in the world. Jeffrey is more, sorry, Jeffrey's out there, is more milk toasty, laid back, going with the flow, artistic, very highly intuitive, somewhat introspective, but it's not stand in your truth and deliver your message as much as a Tyson is. For me, this is me talking about myself.
So this is how your name changed how you feel about yourself then.
Absolutely, and why I did it. Right, I want to come out of the closet, so to speak, not because I was gay, but I was a closet empath, right?
Sure.
A closet empath. So I wanted to come out flying my flag, right? And I wanted to do it at strength so that I'd have, so no matter what I was confronted with, I still have the strength to be able to stand in my truth as an intuitive, born in 1945, to deliver that integrity of who I was in a society that didn't understand who I was and didn't want to know who I was, and said, this guy's absolutely insane, crazy, nuts, get him out of here, right? So that's why I had to do what I did, right? Now that I'm
being born 25 years earlier, like you were, knowing what I know, being born in the 70s was like, holy, it was difficult. It was difficult for both of us to navigate through our childhoods because of what we knew and what we brought to the world. But in 1945, I would think that it was like not even, I think that's kind of even when they like kind of started shutting it down, don't you think?
Well, we were coming out of the war, and there was great celebration that we'd be entering a new world, of peace and integrity and all the rest of it. everybody was celebrating and having babies right, left, and center, and I was part of
Mhm.
that. But coming out of the war, where everybody was on an agenda, right, to win the war, there was a mindset of that still happening, right? There was still the rah, the nation, we are might and right, and all of that sort of stuff. So any deviation from that, that agenda was really hard for society to deal with, right? Uh, we won the war. We were good at what we did. We conquered the enemy. We overcame evil. We're now in the light. So any deviation that didn't fit the norm of what the light was or the good was suspect. But this is really not about you and about me. This is about offering who we are as a way to help the empathic people, right, or highly sensitive people, which are 20% of the population, figure this out for themselves. I mean, we've been around the block, and we've been able to do some of the inner work to be able to take back our power and understand what it is to be able to stand in our truth and help other people do the same thing. So that's really what this is about. Our story is relevant only in showing an empath that we have the empathy for them because we've been there, done that, right? And we are hopefully able then, because of our own personal story, be able to help others discover their personal power and stand in their truth.
Yeah. Well, numerology not only takes your name, the vibration of your name, but also your birth date. And your birth date is what really can't be changed. That's like your life path. That's where the strength comes from, I think. And especially like in astrology, it's your birth date, where you were born on the planet, and then your name. Your name is very important though, and I use people's names to connect when they come in. So for readings, that's
Yeah,
how
absolutely.
that's how I connect.
Yeah, I've found, and you probably found the same thing, that people with the same first name for example, all have a certain vibrational frequency about them, just like all Libras are somewhat similar, or all
Oh, right.
Scorpions. So I know if I'm going to be dealing with a John, there's a certain vibrational frequency in the whole John kingdom, so to speak, of what I can expect in that name, right? And or a Robert, right? And whether the person wants to call themselves Robert or Bob makes a huge difference, right? A Bob is totally different than a Robert. Somebody says, call me Robert. I go, oh, right, you really want to stand out, right? You want to stake your claim. You're not a Bob. You're not the guy that kicks car tires and a baseball cap. You're not the nice sort of guy that teaches baseball. You're the guy,
Much
the
more
Robert says, no, I'm the businessman, or I'm the upper class, or whatever. So how they use their name is really, really important.
True.
I'm just going to see. There's one of them. Well, Art. Yeah. Let me see if I can.
Arthur?
Oh, yeah, Arthur. So I have a friend whose name is Arthur, and he's a publisher, and I call him Art. He says, no, my name is Art is something you hang on the wall. My name is Arthur. Okay. So there's a big distinction about whether you want to use the short form. So some people call me Ty, but very, very few people call me Ty. Most people call me Tyson, the full name. Very few people call me Ty. Right?
I call you Ty.
Yeah, I know. So there's just a few people, and so it has a different vibrational frequency to it, right? And I never correct anybody about that, but Art and Arthur, or Bob and Robert, are things that people want to correct you.
What's funny is that when I talk about you, I always call you Tyson. When I would say like, well, why don't you contact Tyson about this or whatever, or Tyson and I work together, but when it's just you and I and we're here, I don't know why Ty seems to me to be more of a heart, like I connect to your heart easier with it. So it feels softer and
yeah, I think that's how we use short names, right? Yeah, we use short names because it gives it a sense of closeness. So here's my favorite. I think Michael has this and he can show it, but this is my favorite guy to do numerology. This is Dan Millman, The Life You Were Born to Lead, a guide to finding your life purpose, which, by the way, is a master course that I teach, which is your divine gifts or your life purpose. So if you were going to work with me as a one-to-one client, that's how I would start with you. What are your divine gifts? flowing through you. And then we would go, which would be, what are your energetics that you're born with? Everybody has 7 divine gifts, 2 or 3 of them are predominant. So that's the energy flowing through you from source consciousness.
Okay.
That would be the first session. And then I would, you discover, well, if I'm energy flowing through me, this is what I can expect. And when I don't let that energy flow through me because I'm in stress, duress, I have, samskaras or past life intervention, or I have a near-death experience, or whatever the trauma is that's in the way, this is what's going to show up. This is the repetitive cycle that's going to show up until pointing out that I need to get back into the divinity of who I am. So this shows you what it is to be in your true nature. And this is what it shows you when you're in your human nature and you're on automatic pilot and don't let your divinity flow through you, what sort of crisis you can expect to show up in your life. So now you have a choice, which I love teaching people that they have a choice. Do you want to come from your human mind consciousness? You're going to get there anyway. Look, it doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with just being on automatic pilot, but it hurts a lot more. That's what I'm going to say. It's like the long path to enlightenment. If you want to have your life with more ease and grace and get to the agenda with more connection to source, which is ease and grace, then you want to be one with source consciousness. So that teaches you, in this particular situation, am I going to come from my human mind consciousness and listen to the mind chatter in my brain?
Yeah.
Or I'm going to pack into my heart, right? Out of my head and into my heart and become one with source. So I'm in the divine flow, so I don't have to work as hard, right? So it's going from doing to being, from doing to being. And if you're like me, I was trained to be a doer, which is poo, 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 everywhere. It's just a big mess, right? Yeah, poop everywhere. So I'm addicted to that, a messy reality, thinking that that's how I create the world that I need or I want, when in actual fact, that's my human mind consciousness in the way. And if I can say, okay, calm down, it's all right. We're not going to shoot the ego, but we don't need to listen to you 24/7. We're over here. You can calm down, but I'm going to listen to source. Then I don't have to struggle as much, right? And I'm getting the messages that tells me what I need to do at the right time. And I don't, and I get more hammock time, which is, who doesn't want more hammock time, right?
Like, you have the best life, Laura. I'm like, I know. And all I do is listen to God. I mean,
exactly. So who doesn't want that? Now, am I there? Absolutely not. Am I anywhere near there? Absolutely. I would get like a D- on a report card. I'm not there. Because, well, you can ask Michael. I'm addicted. I'm up 5:36 in the morning.
I know, because I work with you. I know.
Right.
I know you're constantly doing. And what I was told a long time ago was to that everything that I need will come to me. And so it's only been, and I promise you, it's only been within the last month or so that I've actually been practicing it consciously with effort. Would that be an effortless thing of allowing? And I think it came from you, from a class that we had in where, remember that guy said the car is coming towards you or the ball is coming towards you. That hit. Once I did that, I was like, oh, that's all I have to do is just manifest and it comes towards me. And all I have to do is think about it and boom, I start, like, stuff is just falling in. I'm like, and there's a little bit of a wobble there, but I'm getting there.
Well, I've got a big wobble, but I got to say, when the wobble on the good side of the wobble, I'm manifesting like crazy. Like, so this is my gains book from my coach. I had a coach just to learn how to do this, to get on my head, get out of my butt and get into my heart, right? And this is my gains book. And I got to say, my business has skyrocketed. I mean, I'm still addicted to working, but the money's flowing, which to me is great because I can pay for my groceries. So, in here, is all of the money that's flowing in and underlined, and, gratitude for the fact that even I can have money to pay my credit cards. And this gratitude of the flow reminds me that I am a part of the abundance. Unlimited flow is always have been and always will be. And whether I choose to work hard or not work hard has nothing to do with abundance that I receive. It
Right.
has to do with how addicted I am, that I need to think that I'm in control. So the fundamental question is, why do you think you need to be in control?
Of what?
It's an addiction that comes from your human mind consciousness, that you think that you need to be in control, when in actual fact, to be in the divine flow is to give up control. It's the counter of that, right? So there's like, well, it's like, whoa, wait a minute. So there's a brand new program we're launching. We're going to be teaching all of this. It'll be a one-to-one program to get you from your head to your heart, to the state of grace that we're talking about. One with source consciousness, so it can flow through you and you can manifest. And the stepping stones to that are the numerology, that is your life path, from Dan Nolman, which is part of my divine gifts. And then Dan Nolman's numerology is, what's this incarnation all about? So let's say the first is really about your soul family and your soul path. The next one is, what is this particular incarnation about? What's the vibrational frequencies about where you're born and the time you're born, which is a numerology. And then from there, okay, now you know why you're here. We then, as empath, help you discover which one of those divine gifts do you have in that whole plethora that we talked about. So then we can bring you back online, so to speak, honor the gifts rather than being overwhelmed by your gifts. And then we take you to, what are you here to deliver? What's your unique message to deliver to the world? Okay, because everyone is separate, you know, when it comes, especially for empaths. And then, how do we help you create your business so you can be highly successful? Because the more successful you are, the more we can bring about change, which I want change on this planet. I don't know about anybody else. I want to live in a more peaceful world. So the more people I can help get back in their personal power as empaths, they can't help themselves but want to change the world. That's why they're here. They're not here to fit in. They're here to change the world. Now, being born in 1945, I thought my job for the first 45 years was to fit in. Okay, I spent all my time trying to fit in. That's why I'm Mr. Doer-Pooer, right? Because I figured that's the only way I could get through university and do what I was supposed to do, because none of it made sense. So what's the rules of this game? Let me learn the rules of the game and let's do the game, right? So.
And what was that? What did you do? What is this game that you speak of?
Going to university, learning the scientific rational methodology, how to write essays, how to do all of the
go to school,
academic, how to teach university classes, how to write curriculums, you know, how to teach all of those things.
How did that fare with you?
I did very, very well, all of it, but I'm much more excited to do what I'm born to do, and that is I'd walk up to the board with no, curriculum guide, and I teach. Right? So if anybody came in and said, well, where's your curriculum or what are you doing? I'd have a hard time laying it out on a piece of paper to show them, because I would be where the class wanted to be in that moment. Now, at university, there was a curriculum, don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is that I learned that I could be empathic and be a teacher and letting the flow come through me to teach, rather than being the academic that has a series of information that is based on precedent of what's been taught before, which is the same old crap about how to fit in. I was the radical, right, in the sense of letting the divine come through and teach that. So once I allowed that to happen, it was like paradise for me, because nobody would come and visit the class to see what I was doing. I could get those that were in the class excited because they were getting what they wanted. It was stimulating their desire to know. It wasn't pablum stuff that you're feeding them that wasn't useful. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So that was the bridge for me. So the credentials allowed me to go and play in the way that I wanted to play originally without the credentials. Does that make any sense?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been allowed to go.
Before I teach a class, I connect with God and ask God what it is that He wants me to teach when I'm doing the metaphysical stuff, and it comes through. So it's not like I'm not prepared, because I am, but it definitely is spiritual driven and not book driven, if that's what you say.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, is that Your preparation is open your heart and then let the teaching come through you to deliver it, right? Whereas if you were doing the traditional way, the curriculum would be your guidance, and you have to stay within the curriculum rules about what you're supposed to teach in the manner you're supposed to teach. And if you
Oh,
did,
I see.
you would get your knuckles wrapped, right?
My. Not,
Okay, so enough about all that. So that's Dan Newman, and that's the whole path of what's your life path, and what are you here to do as an empath, and why we want to help you on that journey. And the first step in that journey in the Wellness Academy was, if you're in your own way and you're in your own way, then we're going to help you get out of your own way. And most empaths are so overwhelmed with so much information from so many levels that they think is important, that they're responsible for, that they get overloaded and get burnt out. Or they take on everybody else's stuff as a healer because they think that they're responsible for healing everything, and they get burnt out. So we come in, hopefully, you phone us, and we help you sort that all out, what's yours and what somebody else's, how to take back your personal power, how to stand in your truth, how to do the deep clearing and clean yourself up so that there's boundaries. Then we get you back online so that all those amazing gifts that you were born with, you can start delivering them. And then from there, we help you build your business so you can go out and change the world.
in your own way. That's the key point right there, is getting that people get in their own way, because I believe that their egos get in the way of, like, they're doing the healing, when in actuality they're just the conduit between God and the person that is being healed. And that's the biggest thing that I believe that you and I teach people.
Could be. I think that people just are an open book, and they don't understand that just because the book is open and they can read every page, that they're responsible for every page. So, for example, in my family, when my mom and dad were arguing and in the middle of divorce, I thought I was the guy that had to have the glue to make it all work, right? And I was even put in a position, well, you tell your father, blah, 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 and you tell your mother, now. So I was in the middle of this. I was looking for the crazy glue. I mean, crazy glue wasn't even created then, but I was looking, if I'm responsible as an empath, I gotta fix this. So how do I fix this craziness that's going on in my family? I thought I was responsible. Nobody took me aside and said, Tyson, that's their stuff, not your stuff. You just be a kid, right? Your job is to be a kid. My job was, I thought I had to fix everything. And on the global level, as an environmentalist, hey, let's fix this global warming. Let's get everybody, that's not my responsibility, but I thought it was. It's because I'm empathic. I feel all this stuff. I think it's my responsibility because I understand it and feel it, and it hurts my heart. Then I therefore must be responsible to fix it. And that's a sure sign of you're going to burn yourself out, right? You're going to get overwhelmed because you can't take on the world, right? You just can't. Well, maybe you think you can, but at some point you're going to crash and burn. So hopefully this makes sense to empaths. If we're making any sense to you whatsoever, give us a phone call. If you're stuck in any one of those things that I was stuck in, I certainly have the empathic point of view to help you get unstuck, right? Get you back on track, help you be here, and to know that you're not here to fit in, you're here to change the world, right? If you're an empath, you're not here to fit in, you're here to change the world. So let's change the world together. So that's numerology. So let's talk a little about, I know people get excited about, well, what's this 444? I know Michael sends me messages too. He says a 444 or 111. Or
I've been seeing 1111 a lot lately. What's that?
1111. Okay, what does all this stuff mean? So yeah, master numbers are really, really important. So if you take, say, a master number of 1, which is everything, which is wholeness, oneness, and you have it repeated, then it doubles and triples, quadruples in the geometrical progression, that energy. So 111 is highly, highly charged. So for example, let's look at 111, see if I can find it here. I have so many things open.
It'd be 1111.
And we're going to just go over here, and I'm just going to type that in and see what I can find here. Okay, here's 111. Here we are. So I'm going to open this up here. Give me a sec here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see here. We have to share the screen. So got to talk my way through here. Okay, so here we are. So this is my favorite page here. So welcome to my favorite page. It will be in the show notes, angel numbers. And I typed in
Yeah.
the angel number 111. Okay, so here it is. So what does it say? It says, angel number 111 is a powerful number of manifesting and manifestation and carries the combined attributes and energies of number one and the karmic master number 11, 11 or 11. Number one resonates with assertiveness, independence, and uniqueness, motivation, new beginnings, and striving forward, insight, self-leadership, and inspiration, positivity, and achieving success. Number 11 tells us that to connect with our higher selves is to know and live our soul's mission in life's purpose. Wow, wasn't that what we were just talking about? And number 111 symbolizes the principles of spiritual awakening, which we talked about. Spiritual awakening to your heart, your inner reason that you're here, not sure what your brain thinks about fitting in. And enlightenment, which is the path that we're teaching. This is a show on health, wealth, and enlightenment. That's the goal. Personal, full body enlightenment in this lifetime is the goal. Well, at least that's my goal. I don't know if it's your goal, but that's my goal. And high energy inspiration, intuition, self-expression, and sensitivity. So angel number 11 is a message from your angels to be very aware of your persistent thoughts and ideas as these are manifesting quickly into your reality.
I wonder. I'm manifesting.
Yeah. And it's quicker. That's what this whole Mayan calendar when this period was, that the gap between your thought and the manifestation is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. As our consciousness speeds up, our concept of time gets compressed. So the gap between the thought and the creation, or the manifestation from the thought, every word, deed, and thought manifests into reality the life that you want to lead. But this is happening quicker, right? So this 111 ensures that your belief, thoughts, and mindsets are positive and optimistic in order to draw the energies of abundance and balance into your life, which we were talking about, the whole concept of being able to be one with your source of abundance, which is your divine birthright, so that it will flow to you. So this is my favorite site. I like to put in there even things like, okay, how many members are in the dowsing and energy healing group? Oh, we have this, 4 is repeating. Well, what does that mean? So it's my message from the angelic kingdom to me about what these numbers mean. So I love this site. So I just thought that I'd want to share that with you.
Can we do a 444?
You can do anything you want here. So I just have to go back here, over here. Let me just see here. Yeah, I think I can do it this way. So yeah, so here's the numbers here, right? So we just scroll down.
What's that? Oh, there's a lot of them. Huh?
Oh yeah, every number known to man. Just count it out.
Okay.
So here's 444. It looks like I've been here before. What for? Give me what for? Okay, angel number 444. 4 represents the vibration of the archangels. Practicality and responsibility, productivity, illumination and initiation, building solid foundation, stability and ability, honesty and inner wisdom, determination and endurance, hard work and progress. Number 4 also represents our passion and drive and encourage us to work harmoniously, diligently to achieve your goals and your aspiration. Number 4 is also the number that represents the 4 elements. Which is what we're going to be talking about, bringing on the 4 elements, which is going to be on Friday and doing the sacred ceremony. So if you want to be part of that sort of mini class on the wellness show, on the wellness show on Friday, we wanted to gather 4 stones or 4 crystals if you want to do it inside, or 4 smaller stones if you're going to do it, all about the same size, and then 4 a little bit smaller stones, so we could do a basic outline of this, and 1 for the center, your most magical, colorful, beautiful stone for the center. And then we're going to do air, fire, water, and earth in the 4 corners, north, south, east, and west, right? And we're going to then call in the spirits and teach you about this amazing time of the summer solstice and the equinox all coexisting at the same time. And we're going to bring in Corey Varlin back on Friday to talk about this amazing time of transformation. So hopefully you will get to learn that. And then Saturday, you implement it in your own home, either inside or in the landscape, okay? So isn't that wonderful? You asked about 444, and I get to remember to talk about ceremony in the landscape.
Air, fire, water, and earth. Yeah, that's awesome. So what's this website?
Yeah, it's going to be in the show notes, so you can look for it there. I just sent it over to Michael. So that's my favorite. Well, let's just finish this last paragraph. Angel number 44 asks you to pay attention to your intuition and inner wisdom, as your connection with your angels and angelic realm is very strong at this time. Okay? So there you are, 444. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about when sharing, and let's see if we can do this. I'll stop sharing just for a sec here. So that's my favorite angel numbers. But then I get in my email every single day my angel messages. So let's share that and let's talk about what's happening today. Okay. So here's what I get in my email, and I encourage you to get this here in your email. This is from SpiritusAngelMessages. This is Angel 27 Gemini, the angels of spiritual assistance for today. This is today's energy, which is numerology. But then look at this. Not only is it numerology, but it's connected to everything else. So it's another pathway back to oneness through angels and numerology. So here's a wonderful in the landscape. You know, it's like a mandala, or it's like what we're going to do, sacred ceremony. This is being done by, well, my belief is, when I tune into crop circles, they're really being done by the Arcturian race, a star nation called Arcturian. And they actually do this through vibrational frequencies that lays out this geometrical pattern on the landscape. And as you can see, this is like a moving mandala of energy, right? Of our relationship. So if you were to meditate on that, you would be able to see the energy. So this is a crop circle that occurred on June 14th, 2020. So that's just a short time ago, right? This is a brand new crop circle. Sort of like instead of messages from the bottle, or messages in the bottle, like somebody throws a bottle into the sea with a message in the bottle. This is a message from space, from our space brothers, from ETs, or however you want to describe them, or extraterrestrial beings delivered to us on planet Earth, right?
And do you know what this one particular means?
Well, there'll be some people that will be analyzing it in all sorts of different ways. We can see that all the crop is laid out in a circle. So there's a spiral. So what way is that spiral going?
It's the vortex out. It's clearing.
Is it going this way, or is it going this way?
To me, it looks like it's going counterclockwise.
It's actually going both ways. So if you look at this, if you start at the center, you can come out and go this way, right, which is clockwise, right? Or you can look at this going this way and come in. So what's that? That's a 0 point in the middle of two vortexes, right? So this is the null point. This is what it is to be one in your heart. And when you're one in your heart, then this is a symbol that appears in East Indian iconography. Is that how you say it? Iconography? So this is, and I can't remember what this is, but I think it has to do with the heart chakra. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12. So there's the 12 zodiacal signs, right? So this is rotating through the space and time. So how many of these are there? 1, 2,
12.
3, 4, 12. So there you are. So 12 around 1. So 12 around 1 is the basis of our mastermind group that we teach. That when you have 12 around 1, like the knights around the Knights of the Round Table, or the Knights Templar, or King Arthur's court, or all 12 around 1. So the table here would be the Knights Templar table or King Arthur table, and each person sitting at the table would have a chair here, and their sword would be here. They come in peace to be in equalness, to be attuned to the oneness, right? And to spirit or God, to receive guidance about how to run the nation, right? Which is Camelot, which is like the concept of an ideal nation that's ruled by consensus, not by the domination of one over the others. Okay, so this is the 12 around one. It's also the 12 crystal skulls, and the legend is that when the 12 crystal skulls come together, the ancient crystals, and there's one in the center, then there'll be a new cycle of information that's revealed. Because each crystal skull has a certain embodiment of information that it brings to planet Earth, usually from another star nation. And when you bring them all together, it gives you this holistic. So we could say that the results, the sum is greater than the individual part, right? Which is the basis of whole systems design, which is what I learned at the university level. That my master's is in whole systems design. So this system of 12 around one is on every level of creation. So if you looked at the flower of life, you would see it there, the 12 around one. You see it all the way up through creation, is how we come together as individuals in a collective to bring about transformation on a wider scale. So 12 times 12, and then you keep doing that, you get 144,000, which is in the Bible, right? And it talks about 144,000 as the magic number for transmutation to bring about the new earth or heaven on earth. And if we want to go back to the other site, we could look at 144,000, but we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to play with this for a moment. So this 27th Gemini degree is exactly opposite galactic center at 27 Sagittarius, the heavenly host of miraculous powers. We were just talking about manifestation. So I love this. This is quite the image, eh? Look at this. We got the dove, and we've got the earth, and we've got the evolution of consciousness. We have this upward spiral, right? Coming from galactic center to Mother Earth, right? These are maybe our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters that are part of the gathering or rising. Look, there's dolphins that are part of our primary education of teaching us what it is to live in a pod of oneness, right? How to be separate, but how to be part of the whole, right? And not be at war with each other. Dolphins don't go to war with each other. And also, here we have the hand down and the need for the hand up, which, by the way, the Oneness Center of Light has been created as a Facebook page. So if you're needing a hand up and you want some help for somebody who's been there before you, that'll head over to the Oneness Network of Light. Give us a PM message about what you would need some help with, and we have created a group called the Oneness Network of Light to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. It's a group interaction around 12 around one to help take you through or break you through the trauma that you're in, so that you have the energy to discover who you truly are. So that's 12 around one. So as we come down here, you can see this is 27. So 7 and 2 is what? We do numerology.
What? 9, which is the end.
Yeah, which is a master number, and 9 is the end of the rotation, and it goes back into 0, which is the wholeness, and then we start with creation all over, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 9. So 27 is an iteration of 9, and what cycle and the vortex are we on then?
The end.
No, well, that's in the first cycle, but so the first cycle is 1 to 9, right? But this is 27, right? So is that not the 27th cycle of 9?
I don't know what you're saying, but okay.
Well, if 0 goes to 9 and then it repeats all over again, we're not just in a circle, we're on a spiral, because we're talking about the spiral, which is in the center of the crop circle, right? So we're in a vortex. So if we're climbing in a vortex, then we've gone through one cycle of 9, but this is a 9, but it's the 27th rotation, is it not?
Okay.
There's something to think about.
I am thinking about it. I'm trying to follow you.
Think about that. And then we'll move on.
I'm tired today, Tyson. I'm kind of tired. I'm sorry. I'm not following you.
That's all right. And I don't know if I'm right. If you don't think I'm right, then phone in and tell me I got a load of hooey.
Why do I have to phone in? I'm right here. I think you're a load of hooey. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Louis, Louis good compost. Okay, so here is the name of the angel, Ma Fal Ash. As the beloved, we assist with difficult problems. No matter what problem exists, solutions also exist. The truth of what everything actually is and what can actually be done has been given to modern people in bits and pieces. Ain't that the truth, eh? I mean, we
Yeah.
don't have the full picture yet. Miracles are actually results of activating already existing potentialities that are always available for assistance, which is really important when we think about it. Because when we help you connect with divine source, right? When you're in your true nature, and it flows through, then those potentialities that were always available to you, you could actually see them for the first time. We see them as synchronicity. We see them as opportunities, which at a lower vibration when we're in our head, or freaking out or churning through, trying to make decisions in a brain, we miss all of the synchronicity that's available to us. So that's why we can go from a life of struggle to a life of ease and grace, because when we're aligned in our heart, the synchronicity appears and it's easy to follow with synchronicity like stepping stones. So the key to miracles lies in the mastery of one's visualization and emotion, which are the electric, magnetic information carriers in the quantum field. So what this is a sacred divine marriage that we were talking about previously. When the electric and the magnetic come together, we have manifestation in the quantum field. This is the masculine, the electric, and this is the divine feminine, the magnetic. This is the divine spark, and this is the vessel, right? The sacred vessel, the Mary Magdalene, they talk about the vessel, right? You know, the Knights Templar were the vessel, right? The vessel, which receives the cosmic bolt of energy and manifests it into reality. That the two become the two become the one. In other words, the divine marriage between the masculine and feminine, 1 + 1 makes not two, but makes three, because we have the creation of something which could be a child, right? Procreation or creation. It's the same fundamental act of bringing the masculine and feminine energies together, or the magnet. If we take it out of the sex away from it, is the electric and a magnetic coming together in creation. So we encourage the children like to heal emotions, which is what we teach, is how to get through your emotions, how to not bury them, but to transmute them into love of self and others, and obtain clarity in visualizing inwardly the highest good of all for self and for others. Okay, we don't have time to do all this, but I just want to show you how much information I'm going to show you. So there it goes, and now it's talking about how to do this. It goes down, gives you the pictures of oneness, which I think is
pretty
amazing. Look at this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then help is passed down from one level to the other, and the patterns of spiritual evolution and awakening continues, which I was saying. That crop circle is 12 around 1, which is a universal pattern from all the way up and all the way down through creation. And then there's JC, Jesus Christ. We help the children of light recognize the original purity of all ideas in the divine mind, and then help them release in self and others whatever imperfect states of being, imperfect desires, imperfect thoughts, wounded emotions, unpleasant sensations, the need to be released for change into other states are the highest good of all. So how to transmute things that no longer serves you, which are the deep clearing protocol. That's what the deep clearing protocol helps you do, is deal with all these wounded emotions, unpleasant sensations, core fractures, toxic emotions, unresolved conflict. We teach people how to co-create reality, which is the 12 around 1, through control of brainwave states and states of consciousness, okay? So we keep going down and looking at the world through the eyes of love. The creator of the world, universes, sources of infinite love, make meaning instruments of your benevolent will, of your radiant presence, of your infinite goodness, right? Wow, I like that. So don't forget, when we're talking about your name has a vibration, right? And that's why in the Court of Atonement, you're asked to see if you align with your name, because your name and the vibration of your name is your calling card, that when you call a floor card of atonement, or you call for angelic help, that your name vibration is a certain frequency that calls that energy to you. Okay, so it's another way of looking at numerology. It's your calling card or for your connection to source and for the angelic kingdom to know who you are, to work directly with the vibrations of who you be. So in this way, healing occurs in the desires, the mind, emotions, and the physical body. And we'll just keep going, scrolling down here. And it tells you how to do this. I mean, this, if I spent my whole day on this, I would be a lot more enlightened, because there's so much information here, right? It literally gives you the methodology that you can implement on every single day with every single angel, what she's here to teach you about yourself and how to let go of your emotions, how to come back to your true source, how to be one with it. And so that all that I do, you shall do and more. How to become the Christed being, right? How to be the Christed being, the Christos in the mind, right? The one with source. So we're going to go scroll down. The change process happens at this level. Keep going down. And here's the law one I keep talking about, right? The law of one. I keep saying when we do a clearing, according to the law of one, which is do no harm. When one is harmed, all is harmed. So the law of one, we are all one. When one is harmed, all are harmed. When one is helped, all are helped. Therefore, in the name of who I am, and I am one with all there is. This is the I am invocation here that I teach. I ask only the highest good for all concerned, or the most benevolent outcome for all concerned. I give thanks this be so, or I declare it so, so be it, it is done. Thank you, right? So there you are. That's the end of the clearing statement and the invocation to create something new that Tyson uses in this I am presence and in the deep clearing protocol. So once you realize that when everything is harmed, the whole web is harmed, then equally taking care of yourself is the way of taking care of yourself, others, and the planet. Once a being realizes that when everything is help, all are help, then help is gladly received and given equally. I love these graphics here. I should post some of these to my Facebook page. It goes on to talk about the law of cause and effect. And we talked about the 12 laws in some of the classes that I teach, right? The 12 spiritual laws. In upgrading intentions, thoughts, emotions, and actions to the highest good of all concerned, then win-win instead of win-lose solutions are found, both personally, in society, and globally, right? So this is another beautiful picture of coming together in oneness. Okay, therefore, a seeker expands limited perceptions of the familiar issues of self-interest and victimization to get over being a victim, and you being yourself into being able to manifest oneness. Listening to your inner guidance from divine providence that the wisdom of the highest good in any situation is known in the present moment. Therefore, you experience miracles, right? And now we get into the name, and we don't have time to do this, but just to show you the numerology and how it comes through. Here is every letter, and every letter has a number to it, and every number has a vibration, and every vibration of the letter has a meaning. So every letter in your name has a vibrational frequency and is teaching you something every time you say your name or the name of somebody else. So every one of these is pronounced, and every one of these has a color. So let's look at one here. So let's go to L. The L says we reveal the mystery of the mystical equilibrium to help seekers gain insights into other people and know what to expect from them. We enable a seeker to see clearly into the true spirit and character of anyone, so that seeker can recognize the true teacher which we bring. This is the divine virtue of all the virtues taken together, which is the splendor and majesty of God, the mystery of true morality and vitality in eternal youth. The color is olive green. So here we have the letter, the number, the letter, the color, right? And the note, the musical note is F. The element is air. So now we're back to the 4 elements. And a sensation to ease, the spleen. And so there's the body part is formed from it. So now we have the number, the letter, vibrational frequency. We have the color, the musical note, and how that is represented in our body, the body of man. Pretty cool, eh? And
Yeah.
this the name of the angel. Now, I don't know about you, but there's so much information here. Like if I just understood this one angel message, I'd be so much closer to understanding who I be, right? So, but frankly, I don't have the time to do all this, but I do love to least go through this and pick out different aspects of it, because I find it so powerful, because it helps me step into the truth I am. So it says the melody formed by the letters of our name are the notes of D, G, C, F sharp, G, C, F, G, C, D, and D sharp. So the melody of your name would be able to be written out in musical notes. So now you have a frequency that God and spirit and angels can recognize, because you are a vibrational frequency that's vibrating according to the notes, which means when the notes are pronounced or toned correctly or vibrated correctly, you become part of the music of the spheres, as above below. So these are the footnotes, and this is the information that I really highly recommend. This is how you get hold of it. It's Yahoo groups, Spiritual Angel Messages. You just go to the Yahoo groups, you type in Spiritus Angel Messages. This will be in the show notes. And I really encourage you to get this. And I've only done one of the things you'll receive, because the other is the moon cycle. And I know we're getting very, very close to the end of today's broadcast. And I want to know if anybody out there is paying any attention, and whether we have any requests that anybody would like some assistance in. But there's one for each moon cycle too, that you will arrive in your box. But before I move on to other things in numerology, I just do want to say that if you really, really, really want to do a deep dive and understand the source of this, I'm going to see if it shows you here. No, it's not going to show you on this. This is from a series of books. Here it is. Here it is. Here, the names and meanings of angel groups come from the Kabbalah, which is a very ancient set of teachings which together form a common precursor or root of three of the world's religions, the Judeo-Christian Islamic religion. Each degree of the zodiac is ruled by a high being of the heavenly host in the earth, gridding the earth, right? And the angels who work with him or her, the beings and the angels share the same name. The name is a key to the powers of influence. Names, phrases, or sections of the angel messages are quoted or paraphrased from the books. This is a guy, Franz Barden. I have never found a body of work that is so inclusive and so mind-bending and so ahead of its time to understand numerology and our relationship to the divine, yet it's highly complex than Franz Barden. I gave it to my best friend, who is really, really highly gifted, and he just gave it back and he said, whoa, this is too much for me. I mean, but if you want to do that deep dive, even if you do part of it, right, it's something sort of like reading J.J. Hurtak's work, right? It's something you pick up, you read, you get something out, you put it down, you pick it up and read. It's not something that you can really read from the front to the back. I mean, maybe you could, but there's a lot of information there. So information of the heavenly host of the zone girdling the earth is all in the practice of magical invocation. So this is the basis of magic. This is the basis of creation. This is the basis of the I am presence. When you state I am, you're doing a magical invocation. And if you're going to do a magical invocation and you're going to create the world you want, then this Saturday at the summer equinox, right? Summer solstice is the time for you to do ceremonial landscape and make your evocation, right? Your I am statement to manifest into reality. Because that's the way, as a group, we will bring about the earth in the way that we want to manifest from where we are to where we want to go, both personally, collectively, and planetary. So that's it. That's basically a wrap of what I wanted to say. It was a bit of a dive, but we just scratched the surface. And like I said, I'm not really a numerologist, but I do love the fact that it's all integrated in a cosmic pattern of light, color, sound that's in the message of my name, Laura's name, and everybody's listening to this call. It's your connection to source, and it's a way for you to find your way home. And last but not least, the law one is the original law of creation, and it's the supreme law over all laws in all dimensions. So this is the law that's used at the Court of Atonement, right? This is the law that trumps all man-made law. The law one, do no harm, is the spiritual law of creation. This is the law that will allow us to become part of the Intergalactic Federation. When we can put that law of one of do no harm for every species on the planet into place, we will then be accepted into the Galactic Federation. Okay, that's our passport. Until then, we are a bit of a, what you would call a suspect planet among many. We're on the path, the road path to enlightenment, but we're not there yet. We haven't achieved universal peace. All right, Laura, is there anybody out there that wants any help? No? Wow, we maybe just blew all the circuits and just made everybody quiet. I don't know. So there we are. The law of one. So be it, and so it is. Thank you. All right, there was a roll around the universe.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I find it absolutely fascinating because it takes me to the height of my understanding and then stretches me even more. So I go, whoa, yeah, there's so much information there. It's mind-boggling, but I know it's true. Like I can just, it resonates on every level of my being. So I know that it's true, and I knew that if I had the time to do that. But then, you know, we don't really need to do it intellectually because, as we said, if we're one with Source, we're going to get the guidance when we need it, right?
Well, God always told me that the less you know, Laura, the better. It's easier to work with you the less you know. So I try and just follow his advice.
Yeah, that's the, we won't make a deep dive in that, but I can tell you why. But anyway, yeah, absolutely. All right, are we done? 2 minutes over. Well, this is a wrap. Thank you for showing up. This is a basic overview of numerology. I'm not a numerologist, but hopefully this gives you some pathway into a really fascinating way to discover who you are and how you fit in universally to the whole cosmic order of things. So we'll back same time tomorrow. So until then, be healthy, wealthy, and wise, and bye for now.
Bye.
For quality online wellness products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.